War and conflict leave behind a devastating trail of human suffering. From ancient times to the modern era, armed conflicts have ravaged societies, shattered lives, and left deep scars on humanity's conscience. While the geopolitical reasons behind wars may be complex and multifaceted, their impact on innocent civilians is undeniable and heartbreaking. Today, as we grapple with a world marked by ongoing conflicts and humanitarian crises, it is more crucial than ever to understand the profound and far-reaching consequences of war on human lives. The statistics are staggering, painting a grim picture of displacement, loss, and despair. Millions are forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in unfamiliar lands, while countless others remain trapped in war zones facing daily threats to their survival. Beyond the immediate casualties of war, the long-term consequences are equally devastating. The destruction of infrastructure cripples economies and hinders development for generations. The breakdown of healthcare systems leaves communities vulnerable to disease and despair. The psychological trauma inflicted on individuals, families, and entire communities can take years, even decades, to heal. Yet, amidst the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. Stories of resilience, compassion, and the unyielding human spirit shine through, reminding us of the power of solidarity and the importance of extending a helping hand to those in need. While wars are often framed as battles between opposing forces, the reality is that civilians bear the brunt of the suffering. Caught in the crossfire of armed conflicts, men, women, and children often find themselves on the front lines of violence, their lives upended by forces beyond their control. The deliberate targeting of civilians, once considered a violation of international law, has become a tragic hallmark of modern warfare. Homes, schools, hospitals, places meant to provide safety and sanctuary are reduced to rubble, leaving a trail of death and destruction in their wake. The use of explosive weapons in populated areas has a particularly devastating impact on civilians, causing horrific injuries, long-term disabilities, and psychological trauma. Landmines and unexploded ordnance continue to pose deadly threats long after the guns have fallen silent, maiming and killing indiscriminately. Faced with such dangers, millions are forced to flee their homes, embarking on perilous journeys in search of safety and security. Displacement, whether within their own countries or across borders, becomes a defining feature of their lives, stripping them of their homes, livelihoods, and communities.
We had no choice but to leave everything behind. Our home, our memories, our lives all gone in an instant. The journey was long and dangerous, but we had to keep moving for the sake of our children.
The global refugee crisis stands as a stark testament to the human cost of conflict. Driven from their homes by violence, persecution, or the fear of death, millions of people around the world are seeking refuge in foreign lands, their lives upended by forces beyond their control. These refugees, the majority of whom are women and children, arrive in their host countries stripped of their possessions, their dignity often shattered by the experiences they have endured. They carry with them the physical and emotional scars of war, the trauma of displacement etched into their very being. The journey to safety is often fraught with danger. Many refugees are forced to undertake perilous journeys, risking their lives at the hands of smugglers, traffickers, or hostile border guards. Those who survive the journey often face further hardship and uncertainty in overcrowded refugee camps, where basic necessities are scarce and the future remains uncertain. The international community faces an enormous challenge in responding to the needs of this growing refugee population. Providing shelter, food, water, and medical care is just the first step. Addressing the long-term needs of refugees, particularly in terms of education, livelihoods, and psychological support, is crucial for rebuilding lives and restoring hope.
We had to leave our home at night. I was scared, but my mother told me we would be safe. Now we live in a camp and I miss my friends and my school.
In the face of overwhelming human suffering caused by conflict, humanitarian aid and intervention play a critical role in alleviating suffering, saving lives, and providing a glimmer of hope to those who have lost everything. From international organizations to local NGOs, courageous individuals and groups are working tirelessly to deliver essential aid to those in need. Humanitarian workers operate in some of the world's most dangerous and challenging environments, often putting their own lives at risk to reach those in desperate need. They provide food, water, shelter, medical care, and other essential services to displaced populations, often working around the clock to meet the overwhelming needs. Beyond immediate relief efforts, humanitarian organizations are also engaged in long-term development projects aimed at rebuilding shattered communities and fostering resilience. These efforts include supporting education, promoting livelihoods, and strengthening local institutions, all with the goal of helping war-torn societies recover and rebuild. However, the effectiveness of humanitarian aid and intervention is often hampered by a lack of funding, bureaucratic obstacles, and ongoing violence. In many conflict zones, access to those in need is restricted by warring parties, making it challenging to deliver aid safely and effectively.
Every day we see the immense suffering of those affected by conflict. Our mission is to provide them with the basic necessities they need to survive and to help them rebuild their lives. It's a difficult and often dangerous job, but it's also incredibly rewarding.
My name is Amir. I used to play with my friends every day, but now everything is different. I miss my home.
For children like Amir, the trauma of displacement leaves scars that run deep. The loss of a familiar environment, friends, and a sense of security can have lasting effects on their mental and emotional well-being.
The healthcare system is overwhelmed. We are struggling to provide even basic medical care to those in need. The lack of resources is heartbreaking.
The destruction of infrastructure means that clean water, electricity, and transportation are severely disrupted. Rebuilding these essential services will take years, if not decades.
The combined impact on healthcare and infrastructure creates a crisis that affects every aspect of daily life, making recovery an enormous challenge. Amidst the devastation, there are glimmers of hope. Communities are coming together, planting seeds of resilience and rebuilding their lives one step at a time. The human spirit, even in the darkest times, finds ways to persevere. In the end, we are all connected by our shared humanity. The struggles faced by those in crisis are a call to action for each of us. Together, we can make a difference, offering support, compassion, and hope to those who need it most.